Christmas celebrations in the food format without India, because what would you do without Indian spices? So you cannot have Christmas celebrations. You cannot have strudel. You cannot have Christmas cake, English Christmas cake, or whatever Christmas cake you want to have. Even apple pie takes Indian spices. Hi everyone and welcome to PLANETSANG. I'm Sangeeta Angelakumar, and today I'm going to be recording a video as well as the audio. So it's going to be interesting. I'm trying something new. Of course the mic is in the frame, so let me move. But the mic has to be close to me, so let's keep that there. Alright, so as I said, welcome to PLANETSANG. I'm Sangeeta Angelakumar and I've been podcasting. Today I'm trying something different. I'm also recording the video part of my podcast because I've been podcasting for so long in my pajamas. I thought maybe I'll dress up a little bit and record a video version. Alright, so today the title of this podcast is How We Can't Celebrate Christmas Without India. Okay, now when I mean celebrate Christmas, I'm not talking, of course, Jesus is the center of most Christmas celebrations. When I say most, again, I mean there is a commercial side of Christmas celebration, which is cakes and cookies and Santa Claus, and it has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. So today I'm talking about that, all right? So now many Christians around the world during this time will be doing their Advent calendars, and they'll be really trying to center themselves to remember that Jesus was born on Christmas, right? I'm also born on Christmas. So I have a special love for Christmas, not just the fact that I was born on Christmas, but also I really do love the cookies and the cake and the reindeer and the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and carols, and like you also need to I feel at least where it is very nice to celebrate the birth of Christ. It's also nice to be festive. I love it when it's cold. Of course, in Bombay, I'm like sweating in December, so that's not fun. So now what I'm talking about in this podcast is about how we can't celebrate, like the festivities of Christmas cannot be done without India. All right. So I'm not going to talk about bindi. I'm not going to talk about a lot of things that people would assume India is known for. So let me tell you a background and why I'm doing this podcast in the first place. The background of this is, and I do have to shamefully admit, that I do tend to look at the West for a lot of things that I learn. It isn't just because I grew up in an international school and I had a lot of Western influences. Sorry about the banging. I had a lot of Western influence when I grew up because of my school. But it's also, I think, very natural for Indians. We don't admit it, but we are less Swadesh and more Videsh. We look to the West for trends. We look to the West for, looking at what is in season or what is popular. I do have to admit that I'm one of those shameful Indians who look to the West. And definitely in the case of coconut oil, I used to think coconut oil was like whatever. Like whenever my mother would want to put coconut oil on me, I'd be like, ew, coconut oil. But now coconut oil has become an integral part of my house, mostly because I saw coconut oil all over Pinterest, and that's when you know Pinterest is like the greatest way to know what has hit the West. So even turmeric, latte and all, I know, it's really, really shameful to admit this, okay? So similarly, I'm not just influenced by America. I'm very influenced by European cultures or Eastern cultures, like in Japan or China or different places around the world, because I believe I'm a truly international student. Thank you, Woodstock. So one of the things that is known, like Germany is known for, one of the many things it's known for is their desserts, right? So you would think, oh, German chocolate cake, Black Forest cake is from Germany, and so they have amazing inventions, right? So today I have this favorite German baker who is not really a YouTuber. She happened to be shot while she was baking a cake, and I love that recipe, and I've kind of imbibe that recipe into my Christmas cake recipe. So in that recipe, she was talking about this gingerbread spice. Okay, so now you would not associate gingerbread with India. Okay, so you would think gingerbread is a very Western concept, and even when I'm today, I'm going to be baking, not baking, I've baked it. I'm going to be assembling my gingerbread cookies for the first time in my life. So it's not a very Indian concept. Like cookies also is not very Indian. We do have biscuits, but biscuits, cookies, all that came from the West. Okay, so during Christmas time, I kind of get very excited and I make cookies, and most of these videos, given that I use egg in my recipes, I don't really follow the Indian recipes. I follow the Western recipes, right? Because everyone eats egg there. Egg is not considered like non-vegetarian abroad. It's considered normal for cakes and desserts. I mean, of course, it's not vegan, but anyways, moving on. That's a different discussion. Here's what's interesting. So gingerbread spice, you can get pumpkin spice, you can get gingerbread spice on Amazon. I didn't buy it because, I can make it myself. So normally the base of this spice, generally for, like, I know I'm going to get into technical details, but generally the spices for Christmas cake is cinnamon, clove, allspice. Okay, so these are the spices. Now, what hit me today? Oh, okay. So anyway, so she was saying I use my favorite gingerbread mix. So I got curious. What is this German gingerbread mix, and what are the spices they use? I guess if you're catching on, yes. The reason you can't celebrate Christmas without India is because all the spices are Indian spices. Okay, so I broke down the gingerbread spice. I broke down pumpkin spice, and here's the recipe list. I'm going to read it out because I may miss something. Cinnamon, India. Cloves, India. Allspice, India. Nutmeg, India. Elaichi, India. Coriander, India. Ginger, India, but around the world. Maize, which is connected to nutmeg, is India. Star anise, India. And orange peel, well, we get oranges also, Nagpur. But so of course you get ginger in different other countries. You get star anise and spices in the eastern parts of the world. So I won't take away the credit from the eastern countries. Maybe I should call this Asia. You can't celebrate Christmas without Asia. But I'm talking about Indian spices, right? These are the spices that go in biryani. These are the spices that go in pulao, meat curry. And these are the spices that I was really scared of when I didn't know how to cook. So now I sat and ground like different spices. And more than that, I actually did something that I would never ever do for Indian food. I cutified the elaichi shell, okay, and I peeled the pod out and I took the seeds and I put that aside. Now, the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because, again, shamefully I admit, whenever my mother would tell me, peel the elaichi, don't let the skin come, I've never done it for meat curry. I've never done it for biryani. I've never done it for any dessert. There's some kaju, some, I don't know what, it needs powdered, kheer, gajar ka halwa, all these Indian recipes. You need to peel the elaichi shell out and use the seeds and then grind the seeds, right? I've never done it. But today for German gingerbread spice, which is basically our Indian spices, I sat and like very faithfully peeled 2 grams, which meant I had to peel 4 grams of elaichi to get 2 grams of like seeds. And when I was doing it now, I was like, what kind of an Indian am I? I don't celebrate my own culture. I don't celebrate my own tradition. And then I really broke down I sat and thought about it, and I was of course telling my daughter this, that that even Worcestershire sauce, sorry for the pronunciation, is based on clove and spices and all the spices from India. And then if you look at history, India was really the hub where so many people were hunting so they could put flavor in their food. So you cannot have Christmas celebrations. You cannot have strudel. You cannot have Christmas cake, English Christmas cake, or whatever Christmas cake you want to have. Even apple pie takes Indian spices. So you cannot possibly have Christmas celebrations in the food format without India, because what would you do without Indian spices? So I thought that was a really interesting thought and a very interesting idea. And I felt proud, a little late, of course. I should have been proud a little before. But yeah, I'm really happy to inform you. If you already knew, great. If you didn't, well, now you know, that most of the flavor that comes in cuisine in the world comes from Indian spices, or what originated in India. So if you're an Indian, please be proud. If you're non-Indian, be proud that you have inculcated a rich culture and heritage. Yeah. But this is just a thought. When you're celebrating Christmas, you can think about the spices that came from India, and that you can't really have Christmas celebrations without India. I'm Sangeeta Angelakumar, and you're listening to Planet Sang. Thank you for joining me, and I do wish you a really happy Christmas time, Christmas celebrations, and don't forget to bring Jesus in too. He's better than the spices. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next podcast. Bye.